I recently read Co-Intelligence, Living and Working with AI by Ethan Mollick. After finishing Co-Intelligence, I walked away with 4 rules for using AI and developed a new prompting habit called 5 and 50. If you use these rules and adopt a similar habit, you'll be one of the last people to be replaced by AI, because you'll be using it better than 99% of people you work with. But before we get to that, we must understand how our modern AI, what Mollick calls an alien mind, came to be. Before 2017, AI didn't wow many people. But then Google released a paper called Attention is All You Need, and everything changed. This sparked the development of large language models, LLMs, the technology behind tools like ChatGPT and Claude. LLMs train by consuming billions of sentences and pay attention to certain words or phrases to predict what words come next. They make billions of unsupervised predictions and challenge themselves by injecting random variations. Think of it like a robot navigating a jungle and trying to get through the jungle by randomly going off the beaten path to explore different routes. Some routes hit dead ends, but others reveal surprisingly scenic shortcuts. After millions of attempts, it can create a detailed map of the jungle. AI does this across countless knowledge domains, essentially creating detailed maps for many intellectual territories. AI can then use these maps to provide you with a sense of direction quickly. Its incredible speed comes from a somewhat problematic feature. It doesn't store the data it trained on, so it doesn't waste any time verifying facts when it responds. It's like a navigator who's lost all his photos and now relies purely on memory. When you ask about a specific landmark, he can't look up the photo, but he'll still provide a vivid description that sounds plausible but isn't entirely accurate. When an LLM makes up facts, we call it a hallucination. Luckily, hallucinations are becoming less frequent as models improve, but they'll never completely go away. But that shouldn't deter you from using AI. When you're stuck on a task or decision, it's helpful to have a guide that can get you moving in the right direction, even if exact details are inaccurate. With that in mind, here are 4 essential rules to remember when working with AI. To grasp these rules, it's helpful to use another analogy. Imagine you're the head chef at a restaurant, and you've just hired an impressive sous chef, your second in command. This cook has made millions of meals and has an incredible resume. Given how skilled this sous chef is, you'd be crazy not to use them to improve every item on your menu. The same goes for AI. You should be throwing your favorite LLM at every complex task and critical decision to see where it can provide surprising clarity and creativity. Author Ethan Mollick will often leave on ChatGPT's voice mode and talk through his entire thought process while working on a task and see if the AI can improve his process. He'll even point his iPhone camera at his current task to get ChatGPT's specific recommendations based on the visual information it's receiving. This brings us to rule number 1. Always invite AI to the table. Start by choosing one of the big 4 LLMs, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, or Grok, and try to include it in every task, problem, and decision you encounter during the week. Experiment to see if it's useless, somewhat useful, or surprisingly great. For example, when struggling with a decision, explain your situation in an LLM chat window, and then write, "Guide me by asking clarifying questions to uncover my priorities, then recommend options that align with those priorities and help me weigh the trade-offs." If you're worried about privacy, activate all the privacy settings inside your favorite LLM so it doesn't store or use your data. Even if you deem AI useless for some things, remember that this is the worst model you'll ever work with, so try again in 6 months. Now, as you get AI more involved in your life, remember to always stay in the loop. Going back to the restaurant analogy, your sous chef is insanely talented, but he can't taste the meals he makes. He only knows what should be good after watching billions of hours of other people cooking and can't verify that what he makes is delicious. What's more, your sous chef will randomly add too much salt or spice to a dish, which will anger a customer and lead to a bad review. Just as you wouldn't let this chef send out dishes without a final check, you shouldn't copy and paste your AI assistant's output and send it to people. You should always be improving what you get and verifying any critical facts. Simply ask your AI assistant to list all verifiable facts in its previous output, Then ask 2 other models to verify those facts using the deep research and web search options. I like to back up outputs I get in Claude using ChatGPT and Gemini. But for anything that would cause reputation damage, like a fake study citation in a scientific paper, you have to Google and verify with credible sources yourself. Rule 3. Push it to extreme lengths. Your AI assistant doesn't get tired or resentful, so don't be afraid to push it to lengths you would never ask a human to go to. Where you might ask someone to come up with 3 options, get AI to generate 50. When you push AI to extreme lengths, you move past generic outputs and start discovering surprisingly good answers. It's like asking your sous chef to whip up 50 different meals. Most are terrible, but 1 or 2 combine ingredients you would not have thought to put together and are absolutely delicious. You need to generate a massive number of options and ruthlessly curate. Give your AI assistant a rough draft for an email and ask it to generate 50 subject lines or opening sentences. 48 will be generic or weird, but 2 will be surprisingly good. Those good ones only come by pushing it further than you would any human being. You will also discover surprisingly good outputs if you provide your AI with a character, context, and constraints. Imagine telling your sous chef to cook like a Michelin star chef from Italy and explain that he's cooking for a family who loves bold flavors. Give your chef a list of that family's favorite dishes and finish by saying, use no more than 5 ingredients. They'll probably make a fantastic meal. Likewise, if you give your AI assistant a character assignment, like act like a senior marketer with 20 years of experience, plus context in the form of goals, previous work, and documents, along with creative constraints, you'll consistently yield sharper, more interesting responses. In the end, bring all 4 rules together by adopting what I call a 5 and 50 habit. For any task, problem, or big decision, ask yourself, how might AI help with this? Start with a rough first prompt and then improve it 5 times, refining its character role, adding context, and tightening constraints. Then, for at least one critical part of the output, like an analogy, headline, or example, push for 50 variations. Expect most to be average or just plain weird, but one to be excellent. If you're relentless and willing to push AI farther than most, you'll add a layer of intelligence to your work that will elevate you higher than most in your field. And by learning to use AI better, you won't eliminate your creativity. You'll amplify it. That was the core message I got from Co-Intelligence by Ethan Mollick. This book was a fascinating deep dive on LLMs and their utility. I highly recommend it. If you would like a 1-page summary of the insights I gathered from this book, just click the link in the description below and I'll email it to you. If you already subscribe to the free Productivity Game newsletter, this PDF is in your inbox.